Just an assessment of tonight from one hand Micki to 4-round Otto.
We had, Micki had a very good performance. Even though he hurt his left hand in the first or second round, it was good for him to get rounds. We knew this guy was going to give him some rounds. He took a couple of body shots off him, but all in all, Micki, I thought it was a very composed performance for a 20-year-old. In his 13th fight, so it was very good, very impressive, and you almost saw him learning in the ring. He's a big star in the making.
Patrick, of course, did his thing.
Patrick looked really snappy tonight. He was really throwing his shots really well. I think in the last fight he was a little bit more lethargic and a little bit heavier. Tonight you could see he was really had a good training camp. His weight was good, everything was perfect, and he was used to fighting in front of his home fans. I think the first time around, the first couple of rounds, he was a bit like nervous. He showed signs of nerves. This time he went in there professional, and he got him out of there.
Katab had his first fight in your stable.
I'm very impressed with Abdul.
Okay.
His jab is lightning quick. He was in with a very tough guy. Most guys would not have taken that amount of those right hands he was throwing on him. But he's a very good fighter, and I think he's someone we can move very quickly.
It seemed a few times as if his focus was a bit off. He looked at you a couple of times to sort of see, am I good enough?
I mean, he's got a long-term contract, so he is good enough. I believe he knows he is. I think he hasn't been in the ring for a while. I'm not sure, for quite a while, quite a few months, and even maybe close to a year now. So he's of course he needed that. He needed those rounds tonight, and that was good, and we need to get him back into the ring very soon.
About Yigit, he had a very tough fight tonight, maybe tougher than most people would have expected. He's had a lot of fights. Is it about time to sort of change gears, put him into longer rounds, longer fights, tougher opponents?
Yigit's next fight will be a 10-rounder, I'm sure. And, look, Anthony's got, I need to watch it again, but he's got a great defense where, he blocks a lot of these shots. He took a few tonight as well. And, the guy was, the kid he was in with tonight, if he was guided in the right way, he could be a great fighter, but, it's, of course, it's having the right promoter to help you along. But, it was a good fight, entertaining, and that's what Anthony likes to do. He's an exciting fighter. Even, the Danish fans, the Norwegian fans, and the Swedish fans, they all like him.
Lionheart seemed to be struggling a bit tonight.
Yeah, it was his second fight in 2 weeks. He got called up at short notice. I called him because I had the opponent. I said, well, look, Smardal's out. Do you want the fight? Of course, it's my learning curve. I'm really enjoying it. But as I said, it's a learning curve. He needs to learn when he's fighting a guy who's shorter than him with the nickname Pitbull, and he's going to be swinging a few shots and coming at you. So you need to learn to keep his hands up a bit more. And it's a work in progress.
Berlin had an opponent tonight that honestly wasn't worth much, except that he could take a few punches.
Yeah. But this is what people don't understand is this is an undercard. We're trying to. Otto's far away from the finished article. This is all getting rounds under their belts, learning on the job. Otto's got another 5 years of work. And that's what are you going to do? Are you going to put him in against a good guy who beats him? And then you've gotten rid of a guy who's could be a future in Sweden.
About Clara Svensson, she has a certain degree of experience.
Yeah.
The match tonight, was that because of a late opponent or whatever? Because
yeah, it was a late opponent, but we have our reasons, and Clara needs that bit of she's going to be going on to bigger fights. She needs to get a couple of knockouts as well sometimes along the way. Of course the opponent didn't stand up to her too well tonight, but Clara's a good fighter. And maybe it's time to move up.
Say that tonight maybe you have more fighters to talk about than the Nielsen brothers because you were in the corner of six fighters. Yeah. Just to make it short, what would you say? What was the best of tonight, and what was the worst?
The best and the worst. I mean, you know, the worst. I don't know if there was the worst. Everybody came away with a win. I think it's part of that learning curve. The ones that maybe struggled a little more than they had to. You know, like it's all part of the experience. The best part was Micki, Patrick, all the guys who went in, Anthony, Otto, Clara, Tim. It was good performances, and especially two champions. How can you beat that? But I'm proud of all of them, displaying good skills and advancing.
About Patrick, I saw him a few months ago when he fought here the last time and then this time. It seemed, when I saw him at the press conferences, at the weigh-in and even tonight, a very big difference in attitude and
yes.
feel. What was that about?
Oh, he's growing up. He's maturing. He's only 22 years old. That's the thing. The one thing about the brothers, they're very quiet. They're not cocky, arrogant or anything. They stay to themselves. Very likable. And hey, they're winning. They're undefeated. You know, it's easy to criticize, but look at these guys at their young age. WBC Youth Champion, WBC Silver Belt Champion, those big accomplishments. So, you know, there's a purpose behind that. There's a reason. And they're good fighters. And they're improving more and more. You see Micki go 10 rounds. I get tired of hearing people say, oh, well, Micki's out of shape or this or that. The guy, you know, hasn't even been 8 rounds, went 10 rounds, wins the championship. And, you know, so I was very happy about that, you know, and Patrick as well, doing what he did to an opponent that's rated higher in the WBC and basically controlling the fight and getting him out of there.
Would you say that actually you don't wish on a fighter to have a hurt hand, but was it a good experience in a way?
It was because, you know, it wasn't one punch Micki, it was one hand Micki. You know, Micki is a much better fighter than people can even understand. It's not that people think he's less, but sometimes looking at him, it can be deceptive. The guy works hard. He's a huge puncher. You know, and he's got good skills. He boxed beautiful tonight. He worked off that jab. Kept pumping that jab more than he ever has. So I was real happy, and he tried. He used the other hand. He threw combinations up and down, and he fought a disciplined fight.
If I heard any criticism of his fight tonight, then it was probably that at times he seemed a bit easy to hit with the jab.
Yeah, he did. He got hit a few times with the jab, maybe 4 or 5 times, but then he adjusted. You might hit Micki once, but you're not going to catch him like with another punch after that. We made an adjustment. You know, Micki was fighting with that one hand. I mean, I thought he adjusted well. Listen, it's a contact sport. You are going to get hit. You minimize that, and Micki minimized that as it went on. He made good adjustments.
Micki, den der hånd, hvor slemt var det?
Men det gjorde, at jeg kun kunne bruge den et par gange. Ikke nær så meget, som jeg gerne ville. Og til sidst så kunne jeg slet ikke bruge den, men heldigvis så fungerede jabbet rigtig godt, og jeg fik brugt det, og fik holdt ham væk. Så.
Det virkede lidt som om, at du holdt den der venstre ind, så du var tvunget til at bruge den.
Ja,
når du lige skulle sætte dig i
ja, præcis. Så jeg ville undgå mest at bruge den, du ved, men selvom man vil bare gerne fyre den af, du ved, og prøve at stoppe ham. Det er svært med en hånd.
Hvor lang tid skal der gå nu?
Jamen, nu har jeg lige bokset 2 kampe, så der er alligevel lidt pause. Så jeg håber, den bliver klar igen til næste gang. Jeg ved ikke lige, hvornår.